So, my friends, this is an extraordinary group of people. Each of you has had a fascinating personal journey to philanthropy. I want each one of you to talk, if I can talk, about the touch points and transformative moments along your way that have inspired you to focus your time and resources on your philanthropy. It may include your childhood, it may be Jewish upbringing, what inspired you, and what are the touch points. I'm going to start with Ann Pava, who many of you know is our former national chair. Ann, tell me your story.
Well, I'm so happy to have been invited to speak with all of you today. My story began a long time ago, but I'm going to start from 3 years ago when my husband and I found ourselves in the very fortunate position to be able to start a family philanthropy foundation. And we named that foundation Micah Philanthropies after the prophet Micah. And we named it after the prophet Micah for his very famous phrase that some of you may know. What does the Lord ask of us? To seek justice, to love kindness, and to walk humbly with God. And I would say that that fits my vision of philanthropy and what shaped my philanthropy and how I move in the world. And so I'll start quickly with justice, seeking justice. And I was thinking from the other night when we gave Michal Herzog the Ruth Bader Ginsburg Award, that Ruth Bader Ginsburg very famously had on her wall something that said, Tzedek, Tzedek, Tirdof, justice, justice you shall pursue. And I was thinking, we all have our own justice. Justice is what we see the change that we can make in the world. What can we do to make a just and better world? And I think for all of us, that concept of justice is different. And it comes from really sitting down and figuring out what is your mission, what is your vision for the world. And I think that that's it's been very important for me to think about because there are so many beautiful causes in this world, so many beautiful Jewish causes in this world. But whether you have $500 to give away or $5 million to give away, we want to think about where can we invest our dollars best to have the greatest impact. When I think about love kindness, the second piece, a lot of us think for kindness it means feeding the hungry and housing the homeless, which is obviously kind, but it's not what I think about in being kind. When I think about kindness, I think about my behavior as a philanthropist. I think about my behavior as a person in this world. I think about that it's very powerful to be able to give away money. And when you can say yes to someone, it is very exciting and wonderful. But sometimes when you have to say no to someone because it doesn't fit in your mission, it's very hard to do. And that's actually what keeps me up at night. And it's something that I have focused a lot on in my philanthropic journey. I ask for money all the time, like many of you. I'm always asking for Federation. I'm always asking for my day school. You name it, I'm asking. And how often do people, women in women's philanthropy, say to us, I will do anything you ask me to do, but don't ask me to ask for money. And why is it, right? It's because if someone says yes to us, we feel like we're on the top of the world. But when they say no, it feels yucky. It feels mean. It feels like you're being dejected or made to feel less than. And unfortunately, very often when people say no to us, they don't say no nicely. And so one of the things that I decided with, if I ever became lucky enough to be a philanthropist and give away money, that I would say no nicely. That I would let whoever I had to say no to, let them know that I think that the work that they are doing is holy. It is filling the fabric of the Jewish world in a very important way. And I always, always try, if what they're doing doesn't fit in my mission, I find someone whose mission it does fit. I don't like to let anyone leave without somewhere else to go and someone else to talk to. And then finally, to walk humbly with God, which was the last thing. I was going to share some words of Torah with you about what the Torah tells us about being humble. But I'm going to throw that thought away because I think that being at this conference, this time period, has been the most humbling experience sitting amongst all of you and all the heroes in the Jewish world right now. I was thinking, how blessed we are to be here and that we had Samantha Edis standing up here after her whole entire house burned down and she was in borrowed clothes, or the hostage families who, one day they were just a regular mom being funny and making food, and the next day your life is torn from you. I realized that for all of us, some days we're the lucky ones and some days we're not. And when we're the lucky ones, we're there to help. And when we're not the lucky ones, we have each other to come to our rescue. So those are my philanthropic, beautiful.
That's beautiful. Sigal, I want you to talk about your journey and maybe about the Israeli Lions journey at the same time, because that was started, I think, in 1995. The first Lion Conference when we started the Israeli Lions. That's grown dramatically. Thank you, Israeli Lions. You're amazing. You can't hear me? Anyway, so I want Sigal, who has been the co-chair of the Israeli Lions, to talk about that and also her personal journey.
Okay, hello. So with me, everything starts at home. I'm sure that most of you, it starts at home. Actually, I was raised at a very Zionistic home. And I love people, I love my country, and that's the way we were raised. My mother was our role model, and she taught me, or us, we are 3 daughters, that family is important, personal growth is important also, either if it's a career or any way you choose, but philanthropy and social activity and to be part of the community is very important too. And you cannot leave it for others, you have to do it also by yourself. You have to give, but you have also to do. So during the years, I tried and I did different things. And then 12 years ago, my friend Norit Avner, that some of you know her, she introduced me to the Lion of Judah, and she asked if I would like to join. And I remember I told her, listen, I'm busy. I just me and my sister took over the pharmaceutical company, the family pharmaceutical company. We are building factories. I have still 4 kids at home. I don't think it's for me. And then she said, you know what? But there is this international conference at New York. Would you like to come? At that moment, I decided I would come just to see, to understand what is it. Because in Israel, we are a smaller group. I will explain you in a minute. But I must tell you that when I arrived to New York, I saw so many women, American women that I don't know, in one room, but that was at the reception, where we all hug, kiss, right? A lot of noise, eating, and I was looking like this around, and I wasn't sure this is my place. But then one of my friends told me, wait for the plenary. I'm telling you, the same evening, I understood that I belong. This is my place, and I know that we have to be here. It's really a gift for me. It's a gift for life. And since then, I'm really involved in the Israeli Lion of Judah. And I think most of our Israeli lions feel the same also, this conference is something different, and we all came very emotional and with all what we are going through. But I must tell you, all the conferences before were also very moving and give us a lot of knowledge and about what you are going through here And because we are one people, one big family, we both have to understand both sides and how it works. So in Israel, we have only one professional. We are about 145 lions now. And because we have only one professional, so Sarah Leoren, our chair, she works very hard. Me, I'm a past chair, so I don't have to do so much. I did enough for 4 years and then 4 years as a president. We have this title too. And we all volunteer to different committees and we run the organization by ourselves. I think what's special maybe that we are hands-on on the project. We choose democratically together at the project committee our project that we would like to give the money. We empowering girls and young women in the social periphery of Israel. Every 3 years we change the subtitle, let's say education, health, economy, and so on. And then different amutot, different non-profit organization send the proposal and we choose together democratically. Each one of us who would like to come to the committee are welcome. And after we choose about 10 projects, we are going to visit them. Every 5 of us take in charge of one of the project, and we go all over Israel to visit and to see and to help them, but also to monitor, to see that our money goes to the right goal that was at the proposal. And many connection came out of it. It's enough or you want more? Because I can speak for hours.
Well, let's go on to Helen. Who's, as I said, whose gorgeous daughter, as you heard in the opening, but Helen has quite a remarkable story. You got a little snippet of it. Tell us about how your life began and how you took this extraordinary journey that you've taken.
Thank you, Susie.
Here we go. I have had the remarkable privilege of being on both the receiving and giving end of philanthropy. And as you would imagine, that is quite a journey. And in order to be on the giving end of philanthropy, you really have to understand yourself, your values, what drives you, and your unique lens. You cannot be a philanthropist without first understanding what is your true motivation. So allow me to share just 3 snippets, 3 vignettes, perhaps 3 plain flights of my journey that got me to where I am today. Flight number 1 was when I was 11 years old and I was getting on the plane to immigrate to the United States. And this was actually a multi-month process, but the final flight was from Rome to New York. And I remember boarding that flight and asking my mother, who is going to greet us when we get there? What are they going to say to us? I do not speak English. How are we going to speak the same language? Where are we going to live? I had a whole series of questions. And later, of course, I learned that it was you who greeted us. So thank you. Susie, you were there in New York. Maybe not my plane, but for sure another. And the question that haunted me then, that really came all the way through with me in all these years was, why is it that over there they hate me for being Jewish, but over here, people that do not know are literally greeting me with open arms and embracing me because I'm Jewish? What does it mean to be Jewish? What does it mean? And I took that question and I carried it with me for many years. And I looked and searched for answers in many different places, from school to BBYO, to NCSY, to Hillel, all the way through, always searching for this nuggets of what does it mean to be a Jew? And what does it mean to be Jewish? The way that the answers actually came to me in a way that I was able to internalize and process was on my second flight. That flight was in 2009, and that was the day that I was blessed and privileged to go on a Momentum journey, a women's group, yay, from Momentum Sisters, What's remarkable about this trip was that it was the very first one. Nobody knew where they were going. Hey, bunch of women, let's go to Israel. Let's learn a journey of self. Don't know who the teachers will be. Don't know who the other women will be. But you're going? Come with me? Okay. I had 2 small children at the time. And here is why I went. I went because I did not have the answer of what it was that I was going to teach my children. The journey was no longer about me, but it was about how am I going to teach the next generation, my very own kids, what it means to be Jewish when I myself do not know what really that means. And it was on that trip, on that journey with those educators who were able to speak to me not only as a Jew or a refugee, but as a Jewish woman, and explain to me my own unique responsibility of what that means, and the kind of power that I had as a Jewish mother, and the kind of opportunity that I had in my own family and in my community, and the fact that they gave me the language and the place and the power and the support and the sisterhood and a community to come back to and take all of these lessons and implement them. That was really, truly transformative. And, we say in Momentum, if you've been on a Momentum trip, your life has been transformed. And I am one of those transformation stories through that journey. But really, as a Jewish woman philanthropist, which is all of us who are here in the room, that takes me to my 3rd journey, interestingly, also to Israel, on the Fisher Flight program, which, as you know, is a wonderful program of JFNA. And that one, my husband and I got to experience together in 2017. And at that time, the word philanthropist was something that we did not even really fully understand, nor did we understand the opportunities that came along with that. But we felt like this is the trip, the Fisher Flight program, was specifically targeting people who had the opportunity to make a difference, to invest, who had a love of Judaism, who had a love for their community, who had a love for the Jewish people, who had a love of Israel. And then they were going to come back, and with the new support and the new lens in place, they could do something about it. So our trip in 2017 was in October. In January of that year, so literally 2.5 months later, we launched Zalik Foundation. Thank you. And when I look back and I think about what do we do with our foundation and how do we think about what to invest in and what projects to promote, what programs to support, it becomes so simple because we look at our own experiences as Jews in the world and we think, oh my gosh, how lucky and blessed are we? And what can we do to make other people's lives better? More knowledgeable Jews, more engaged Jews, more passionate Jews, more Jews living joyfully, more Jews understanding what a privilege and a blessing it is and how rich our traditions are and how we're all better humans if we understand and invest and learn. It is never too late to start learning. We support Jewish education from the cradle to practically the grave because it's never too late. I spoke with Winnie Greenspoon the other day. She said Harold Greenspoon did not start PJ Library until he was 76. The opportunity for you, for your growth to make an impact doesn't ever end. So I take all of the inspiration that I have received from my life's journey from each one of you here, and I take it to the next level, and I look forward to doing it all with you guys. Thank you.
Beautiful. We look forward to additional flights of your life. So obviously the last 15 months for all of us, we have experienced a true apocalypse, brutality of a sort unheard of since the Holocaust. And we've all been changed by these events, both the devastation and pure savagery, but at the same time, the immense goodness and grace in the community and helping people in whatever ways we could. We heard that from Michal Herzog the other night, that she's hopeful. She's hopeful because of the goodness of people. You all spend your lives thinking about doing good for other people. How has the last 15 months and what happened on 10/7 impacted the work you do? And Sigal, I want to ask you first because how has this community supported you since the October 7th and the activities that happened that day?
Okay, so I will share with those that didn't hear yet that on October 7, we lost my niece and her fiancé. They went to the Nova party, and actually after 3 days of searching, we got the devastating message that they were killed by the Hamas terrorists. So how is the Lion supported me? I think we are a group, the Israeli Lion, I'm talking. First, it's a group of networking. We really help each other in good days and also in difficult days. So my friends, of course, were there for me and for the family, but actually, I didn't have the privilege to collapse because I'm the one who the supporter of the immediate family and the extended family and everybody, and also our employees, because they also, some of them were Nova survival and went to the reserve. Everything happened in Israel, happened in our world of Dr. Fisher, of course. But as a group also, I don't know if you mentioned it before, Idan Alexander, who were kidnapped, he is now in Gaza, in the tunnels of Gaza. He's a lone soldier, American lone soldiers who came to Israel. Here is the photo, yes. And he is a grandson of one of our lions, Varda Ben Baruch. And she is a fighter. I think Sarah Owens talked about it. And we all around her and with her all the time. Every Saturday, some of us go with her, and we do as much as we can to help her. So this is the Lion. We had also emergency fund that we gave to Barzilai Hospital in different purposes. We help and support lone soldiers, girls, women lone soldiers, and we've done a lot as a Lion of Judah. But if you ask me as a philanthropist how my strategy changed, so yes, I think as a businesswoman, first I support young or even not young, businesswomen who were evacuated from home, and then they moved to Tel Aviv or other places, and they didn't know what to do, how to start. So a group of us tried to help them to get the connection and to help. Another thing is to think about the businesses, Israel business that are at the Kiryat Shmona, or either at the other side, at the south. So we decided that we will buy from them, even though if it was even more expensive. We decided that we have to give jobs in Israel to support the economy in Israel. I think to strengthen the Israeli economy, it's also one of our all, you and us together, one of the missions, because strong Israel needs a strong economy. And I really believe to be independent in Israel, you need a strong economy, not only a strong army. And so I think I shift some of my philanthropy also to these things. And the last thing, I took on myself to chair a non-profit organization called Yeladim, taking care of children who were taken out of home by welfare and law, and now they are at boarding school. They are alone. They don't have the family around them. They don't have a mother to hug and to be there to support them during the yesterday alarm, siren, and all this time. So I think this silence kids, I can see invisible kids need us. So I took it on one of my duties.
I think I just got the hook, but I want to quickly ask Helen and Ann how their philanthropy changed after 10/7.
So even though 10/7 did not happen to me personally, in the sense that I wasn't there, the pain that I felt and my husband and I felt so real and so personal and cut so deep. And I don't think we realize just how connected we are, we, myself, us here in the diaspora, to our brothers and sisters in Israel. So the first thing that we did, of course, right past 10-7 is support the campaign here with the Federation. And then we started to support the Army, IDF, FIDF, thank Israeli soldiers. Of course, then we started to support local organizations in Israel directly. Mental health, we knew was going to be immediately the trauma. We saw that happening. We have been investing here locally in mental health challenges, so we knew this was going to be a pretty serious concern. But after supporting the Israeli army and seeing just how this was not ending anytime soon, this was not a quick in and out, we changed our strategy by deciding that we really needed to invest in an American army of Israeli supporters. We needed advocates, we needed American dollars to invest in education, to invest in people being able to speak up, stand up, show up. So an Israeli portfolio, an Israeli education portfolio, an Israeli advocacy portfolio were things that we did not have pre-10-7, but boy, did we lean into it after.
Thank you, thank you. And Anne, I know they're going to give me the hook, but I want to hear your answer, and then we could go on for a long time, I know.
I'll be quick. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So we learned to be quick, and we learned to be nimble. And this war broke out. You know, when you have a foundation, it takes a long time for people to actually get money from us. You have to go through a whole big process, but we obviously just threw that away. We took a leap of faith with the JFNA Israel Emergency Campaign. We did not wait to be asked. We made the largest gift we ever thought we could make in a lifetime in one sitting. And for us, supporting this particular campaign was a if not now, when moment for us. And once we came up for air, we realized it was an if not now, when moment for all of you, for all of us. We've heard on this stage a couple of times already that we raised $861 million for this Israel emergency campaign. What I don't think people said quickly was I think we raised it in 3 months, like an unbelievable short period of time. We sent 300,000 people to Washington within a few weeks. As the year progressed and things seemed so horrible and devastating, and every day I would think, how are we going to get through this? The other piece that was always there for me was I also never felt so confident and secure and loved and supported by a community. People came out of the woodwork, and they're continuing to come out of the woodwork, and I'm not going to say any more because I know we're done.
So what I can say, these are remarkable stories. Thank you for all you do. Every one of you, as you know, you have your own story. I could have every one of you sitting in these chairs, and you would talk about why you do what you do and how this has changed you, and that's what it is. Philanthropy is not what we do for others. It is what we do for others, but how it changes us. So thank you very, very much, and thank you all for your